everybody. How we doing today? It is Thursday again, 4 o'clock. We like to get together and BS about penny stocks. Don't we, Lily?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I love it.
How y'all doing?
I am trying to get I don't know why I forget to do this each day, but I'm trying to get this together for us so we can look at some news. Lots
It's
of good
probably
news.
because I come in here and talk your ear off, John, right before we go on. It's my fault.
Maybe.
It's my fault.
No excuses, though.
John gets
There's been a lot of
distracted,
real
you
good
guys.
news this week. A lot of, and when I say good news, I mean news that had reaction. We've seen stocks move on a lot of this news. I was pretty excited to see that this week. Let's see. We'll keep it nice and slow for you so you have time to read it, and we'll make it nice and wide. And there we go. All right. So let's kick this on open for you. So have you had your eye on anything this week, Lily, on the OTC or the penny markets? Any small caps?
A few of them, but I can't see your screen if you're showing the news.
No, I'm still popping it up. There ain't no need for
Oh,
it.
okay. I was just making sure. All right. So, yeah.
I'm coming to it. I just don't want you to see me jumping around every bloody screen or that one.
I am watching a few things. Definitely seeing some stuff squeeze. And what was it? That MMTLP, that one's been going that's been going for months, but
someone made a comment to me the other day about that. It was a bittersweet sort of comment. You know, they were saying you kind of missed the mark on MMTLP, but I'm going to give you another try on BRBL, which we talked about yesterday. And I went back and looked at it, and it's like I had the information wrong. There was a lot of information about that behind the scenes. It was very obscure.
Torchlight. It's kind of confusing.
Yes, but it's been climbing. I was excited about it. So even though I didn't know why the hell it was climbing, I knew to get in. I knew that much. Technical said that.
That's all you need is the chart. That's all I need.
So as you can see here, folks, we've got news coming by. This is about 6 days worth of news, including today. We don't have any financials or public offerings in there. These are events, mergers, acquisitions, uplistings, expansions, all the real juicy stuff. And as I said, this last week, a lot of this news has been reacting. News today. I posted a bunch of news over at Discord. I have a habit now of posting what I think is important news. I'm not trying to be biased, but I don't post a lot of mining news, but everything else, if it looks juicy, I put it out there. Reverse splits. I think people are interested in reverse splits because of the low floats. Once you get a low float, it becomes all of a sudden, appealing. So I post this stuff every day. And today's news, I think out of 5 pieces I posted early, 3 of them were running strong today. And it was like, look at this. This is nice. It's nice to have Catalyst actually do its job. This is what I'm talking about, folks, right here. If you haven't been here, that's an invite. Just write that down, pennyboys.is/wizard with a W. It'll give you an invite. That's from me. It's free to come on in. We're not going to charge you once you get there. OTC is all free. We just chat through the day. If there's anyone there, you got to come hang out with us. I post the news over there every day. There's lots of information coming in, and we'd love to chat with you. Really, really would.
Always appreciate the challenge. I see some people asking about COSM, and I don't have a lot of information on that one, but it's definitely one we're going to cover. Give us just a few minutes. We'll definitely get your questions.
Yeah, both COSM and COMS have been, the last week, have been running. They've been on my short list of stocks I might have considered talking about, but I just never got around to them.
We're going to today.
What's that? We will
We're
today.
Going to today.
Now,
that's why we love y'all being here, just asking about these things, giving us different tickers so we can talk about them. It's amazing. Appreciate
that. See, we got 2 people interested in COSM.
Yeah.
I wonder if something happened.
I wanted to let them know so they didn't leave. We will cover it.
Yeah, good to see you, Hustler. Great to see you. I got 2 computers here. I can't see anything when I'm showing you the news. So I'm looking over there. Jeff Engine, you too want to look at COSM. We'll be glad to look at that for you guys. Belmore. Belmore wants to talk about one I've been watching all day, LRSV, and you should have been watching it for a while. I think it's had many days of climbing. She's been doing real good. Nikki. Is that our Nikki?
Yeah, it's
Is
our
that the
Nikki.
Discord? Hi, Nikki. Good to see you. Well, I don't see you, but you know what I mean. All right. So we're going to just jump on into some of these stocks now. We'll get rid of this. If you didn't have time to read that, folks, just come on back after we're done. It's pre-recorded, after recorded, something like that, and you'll be able to watch it all over again. I've already got this up here. From what I was able to see with LRSV, they had a quarterly report come out 2 days ago on the 15th. It's the most current one for September. And when you jump into it, what everybody is really talking about is the absolute very last line in this document, all the way down at the bottom. And this is where you can find surprises under subsequent events. After they've said everything, that's like a footnote. Oh, tell them about this too. And this is where you can see things that they didn't have time to really cover. As of the date of this report, the company has withdrawn the previously filed reverse split with FEMA, as stated in section 1 of the quarterly report. And that came out June 30th. So we want to get back and see what is actually going on here. So June 30th, you see they had signed a letter of intent with Global Enterprises and Logistics. They were going to just acquire the entire company. But to do it, they were going to have to effect a reverse split. And they weren't sure when it was going to be done or how many shares. Well, now we're being told it's not being done. Well, that kind of leaves the question, are you going through a deal then?
Yeah.
They haven't made that clear. We just got a footnote there. So, yeah, bravo. We don't have to go through a reverse split. That's great. I mean, there's nothing bad about that at all. But we do need some answers now. But in either case, people are happy enough to push the stock up. What did we have today? We ended
it fell a little bit today.
43% gains.
It had a good day, and then it came back down.
Which is par for the course, you know.
Always. But I will tell you that just looking at it real quick, I just went and mapped it out. We have some resistance at the 0.01 level, and we're currently under that. So until it can get over that and hold, especially since it's sitting close to it, I would wait to enter this one. I want to see it more upward movement. And so it shows you a stronger position with that one. So 0.01 is a resistance. I went back at least a year and a half or so. And so that's because it kept bouncing there. And now it's just going to be problematic. Did get over it, didn't hold it though. So watch for that.
LRSV. 0.0. Oh, well.
I went back.
So basically, you're trying to get over the high. You want to get over that high, basically.
Yeah, because I put up a 3-year chart, and you'll see that it is a nice support level from before, but now it's going to be your resistance. And granted, it got over that, but it didn't hold it. So since we're kind of sitting right up under it, it could pull back even more. So I would wait to see what it's going to do.
That's 30-minute. Where's my, there it is.
I hit my 3-year. Yep.
There you go.
You sit down there at the.
My whole Thinkorswim got blanked out, and I had to reset the entire thing up again. And I keep finding little tweaks that I haven't caught up with. And my 3-year wasn't up there. It wasn't where I normally have it. So all right, I see where we're at now.
Yeah, you see those bottom candlesticks right there with those wicks. Go over to the right a little bit. Those right there, you can see it from there, even back further. That was a good support level. Right, now we're going to see it as resistance. So I've marked that on my chart.
Definitely strong. Looking for the place where most of the prices are making contact and changing direction. And we can see a lot of that right here. It's like this entire bridge was built on top right there.
Yeah, and then
that's the point. About a penny and a half.
There's nothing wrong with looking back at the history of a chart and gather the information you need. And that's exactly what I did. Put that line right there. So right now I'm going to give it some room to breathe, see where it's going to come back down to, see if we start getting some more support. I do like seeing the volume that we see on this one. So I think it does have potential to do more. But the thing is, what if that reverse split comes back on the table? I think traders right now are really indecisive, and they may be just a little freaked out, took gains, and they're waiting for the same thing. So we're going to kind of find out how this works out.
Oops, wrong one. I was looking at the chart here. Let me get rid of it. Oh, good. It got rid of it for me. Thank you very much. It looks like she's pretty darn close to that 50% mark for today.
Yep.
No,
and I do like where it's holding right there. So that's where I want to see. Is it going to pick up and stay right there? And we're going to start building back up? That's okay.
Yeah, it's got to come back up. But I see she is definitely bouncing off of that new support that's come into the picture here, the 50-day SMA.
Yes.
And I've noticed that on a lot of charts. When you see a new SMA, it's more data. It's what the investors play with. That's all the data that they're using. And that's a 50-day average. And some people, that's where they trade. They want to
That's where I want to see it hold. See if it holds around that area, starts building up from there. We can bounce from there. Then I see a good entry level at that spot. But like I said, at the one, you're going to see some resistance there. We need to see it getting over that, holding, maintaining nice volume, strong growth as we continue on. And we have a solid trade there.
And we need an answer, what's going to go on now with the merger. We have no information. So, and we haven't had a piece of news since that piece of news, June 3rd, whatever it was. That was the last piece of news on the OTC market. There's nothing else there.
Oh, wow.
So they need to fill in the gap there just so you can see going to the news. There it is, June 6th, that they had intent to acquire it. And there's no more news. So now that they said there's no reverse split, the question is begged. Are you still going through with the merger? Have you found a new way to do it? How's it going to happen?
So I think a lot of people and investors, traders are unsure right now. They took their profits. Don't blame them. And we'll figure out what's going to happen. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on their news. Register for their news on their investor relations, or go to, you can go to their investor relations to get their newsletter. Maybe check them out and see if they have a Twitter, something like that. Kind of keep up with what's going on with the company currently.
Yeah, you find a lot of companies that don't put out news will have a Twitter account. They'll put out a lot there. It's not legal information, but it definitely moves the public.
It would be enough to hint around that something's coming, or, hey, we know we're behind, or whatever it is. They'll kind of let you know what's going on and see if they're active. You want to hear from your management. So that's good things to know. So get out there and look for those things.
All right. I've jumped on over here, scouting around, looking at COSM right now. What I see here now, this is an 8K that came out yesterday. 8Ks are real short, folks. That actually has more information than most do. All you have to normally do is halfway scroll into this section and you've got everything you need. And right here it says notice of delisting for failure to satisfy continual listing rules. And they'll go through here and let me see, closing bid price, failure to maintain a bid price. It could be market cap, could be the number of shareholders. There's a lot of boxes you got to tick. And if you don't keep them all ticked, they'll kick you off the NASDAQ. They just don't play around. And right now, this one is having a minimum bid price requirement failure of 10 cents per share. What the heck is that about?
Wow.
I don't understand.
That's interesting.
That. So it says the staff has determined to suspend the trading of the securities on November 21st and delist the company's securities.
Oh,
now, did they say anything here about going to the OTC? I mean, it's one thing to be dropped off the NASDAQ. It's another thing to just go away. And normally there's a liquidation before you go away. I don't see anything here mentioned about the OTC. See if it's down here in the news. Matter of fact, we'll just do a quick search here. OTC.
Oh. The only news I had on this is COSM, correct?
What? Yes.
COSM. Okay. The only news or anything recent that I've heard about that one is that we have some issues with possible dilution coming. So,
yeah, they say
and it
here
seems like that's not happening.
They closed the public offering. They just got $7.5 million. They did mention that. This is their most recent financial, along with the delisting notification. They snuck a lot of information in here. It looks like they're doing business. I mean, I see a lot of things here that says they're doing something. Entered into an agreement to acquire Life NLB. They're doing quite a lot here. So what's this? Our health and distributors. Oh, OTC. No, that's over-the-counter medicines, not over-the-counter market stocks. They don't mention anything here. So I'd
have to read more thoroughly, but
yes.
that That's a lot of information. I can't believe they're listing all that stuff, some financial stuff, possible merger stuff, and then they're saying we're delisting. That's
However,
a
the
little
company has
scary.
requested an appeal of the delisting.
There
So
we
it
go.
sounds like NASDAQ's taking action, and they're going to have a decision by the 21st, and it doesn't look good. Let me see. To remove the company's securities from listing and registration on the NASDAQ market. Well, I'm going to presume they're going down to the OTC, because if you just delist, you got to pay off the shareholders. Everybody that's in there legally, if you're going to liquidate, you got to give them part of the business. They own shares, and they're not talking anything about liquidation here. They're talking about all kinds of money they're making, the revenues. They got revenues coming in. They were 12 million compared to 13 million. They've dropped a little, but that's not chump change. They've got new deals going on, entered into a binding letter of intent to acquire pharmaceutical laboratories. There's another one. So yeah, I would do my DD here, folks. They've got quite a few different things here. Take your time and read it. You don't have to go through the numbers, but the information there is going to be pretty important. So,
and John, when did that 8K come out? Sorry.
Yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday. And it's so funny because I'm looking at the chart right now. From yesterday to today, we have a huge uptick. So I don't know if something else came out behind it saying, no, we got it all, worked out. But right now they are appealing the decision to delist, and that never gives you the warm and fuzzies. Not sure if the market's just playing it because it's just news, and some people might get caught up in it, holding a bag. So be careful with this one until you actually know what is happening.
All right.
What's Twitter saying?
NASDAQ, appeal submitted, holding off on dilution to fight the shorts, submitting a lawsuit against the shorts. Oh, I remember reading
this.
They
do want to do a lawsuit. I did hear that too. They want to do a lawsuit against the shorts.
Right. That was like last week's news. Acquisitions in the pipeline. So there's a lot of speculation. The price gets pushed down by shorts. The price gets pushed down by things like hearing about it being delisted. It does become a play now. People have speculation. Oh, this is going to come out smelling like roses. Get in now. Get in while it's cheap. It's going to run to the moon.
Well, the shorts also pile in too on that kind of news. So you just have to be careful here. To be honest, I'm fine with waiting to the 21st or until they get some kind of feedback to know what way the play is going to go. I don't want to be caught up in anything. But if you are playing it, just manage your risk, because there is a risk here.
Yeah. Whenever it says there's 92% of the float been shorted, which I know 100% sounds like everything, but believe it or not, it can go 200, 300, 400% because brokers will actually double and triple up. It was like the stock market in the early 1900s. They're working on margins that they shouldn't be doing. They're giving out more shares than actually exist.
And they'll do it. Yeah.
And if the market crashed or something, well, it would be another one of those things like with Robinhood. They couldn't let game be bought because they couldn't cover the interest on all the shorts. They just couldn't cover it. You got to put some money out there. The brokers do. If they're going to put this stuff out, they got to cover it in some percentage. And Robinhood couldn't cover the massive amount of shorts on that stock. So they couldn't sell it that day. And boy, that was the end of the mountain.
Well, I'm saying things can happen for sure. And this one, in my opinion, is a little unsteady. I would keep up on the news on it. I think I did hear, I had not checked myself, but I did hear it's one of the most shorted stocks right now. So that might be why you're seeing some volume there and some people taking that risk. They're probably just playing with grocery money or something. They're not worried about if they lose it because it is a risk at this point. And any trade is, you guys. I don't want to make it sound like it's not. It is. But with this one, until the 21st hits or until they come back from that decision of the appeal, we're going to find out what happens. What's that, John?
All right. I'm going to jump on into WLAN now.
Let's do it.
We didn't get to cover this one last week. We saw.
I know, and I remember something about it and can't remember it this week.
Let me see. If I remember correctly, WLAN is the one that had the merger and has the light pole. Yeah, there it is. Patented street light internet transfer.
Yes.
And I've even read some articles this last week about how some of these big Fortune 500 companies like AT&T, T-Mobile are looking at these streetlights. Now, I'm not saying this streetlight because there are other companies that have this, but this one is, if I remember correctly, already has a manufacturer in Southern Florida, has the rights to manufacture and sell this. They just got a contract in Dade County and they've got a few down in Mexico. So they're operating. They can actually fulfill orders right now. I think a few other companies can too. But there's been articles about how this could become the norm in all the cities, that all the street poles are solar, have Wi-Fi connection, recharging capabilities, and they can extend the signal of these Wi-Fis and 5Gs from pole to pole to pole, which is the problem with 5G. You've got to have lots of devices because the signal is so dense. It can't move as far. So this would be a perfect solution for that. Did they have any new news come out today? No, but they did yesterday. The company announces exclusive license for patent streetlight device from Mexico. Well, I know they were already doing business down there. I remember that. So maybe they've gotten some patent just for Mexico. Exclusive license to this patent streetlight fixture for the country of Mexico. All right, so they were doing business down there, but now they've got a patent to do it down there, which is great. I mean, Mexico has actually been on the cusp of smart cities, in case you haven't been keeping up with it. I know we think of them as a third world country, but they are in a position where they can actually leap ahead of us because they don't have to deal with all the infrastructure we have. They're going from old to the newest instead of having all this stuff we've got to transition over to. So they're growing pretty quick down there. So this looks like a new door opening up for them for the business of this. And it is catching heat right now. And if AT&T or T-Mobile wants to get behind this, they're probably going to buy up somebody who's already doing it. Just make them a subsidiary. They're not going to just invest in the company. They're going to buy them up. So this could be, I'm just speaking out of my own head. This could be a buying opportunity. You got to consider that. Wasn't it, they got a man from T-Mobile, as a matter of fact. I think Mr. McDowell. And I think people were trying to put a lot more together here. I don't think this means T-Mobile's involved in any way, but he could be a conduit. He could definitely be somebody who could make things happen, as I believed he did here in Southern Florida with that deal in Dade County. He worked in Southern Florida and the Caribbean. Yeah, the Caribbean. So I presume he probably had a lot to do with that. So I like this company. Did they have any new disclosures come out? No quarterly reports, nothing there. Let's go take a look at their chart. I know you've already looked at it. Where did you see, Lily?
I did look just real quick, and I came back.
You looking good. You shouldn't be wasting time listening to me.
The chart's beautiful. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. and that's pretty much all I saw. I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's pretty. However, it's been really hot, and it's had a huge run, like huge movement from 0.0017 all the way to 0.0131. So I mean, we went to a penny here. And that's a pretty significant move, you guys. I see the trend continuing right now. I don't see it. Like, I would like to get a better entry, but hard to do with it moving like this. And don't get me wrong, there's usually always opportunity, just with the patience, you know. So I'm not going to say it's missed that.
We caught this after it proved it was running. I mean, this would be like an Amy play. Amy makes sure that things are going the right direction before she gets in. She may lose some of the bottom, but she loses a lot of risk because she's assured now that, it's going that direction.
That's right. That's right.
And that's when we looked at this. We go back 20 right there. I put these blue taglines in here so I can remember when we actually talked about this. So she had 3 days of running here, and she's had many more since then. We looked at
it had a nice pullback though a few days later. That's what you like to see.
Yeah,
but see that it's leveling out. And then you could even wait to see it try to reclaim. Like it's heading back up there. It looks good. It's looking healthy. There's your entry.
Yeah, this right up here looks like a replay of this right here.
Yeah, I would give, to be honest, I mean, I don't know, maybe more people, more eyes
Yeah.
are on it or whatever. I would give it a few days and see if it's going to chill out a little bit again, and to find a good entry, make sure it's holding up really nice.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
this
the
was a
interest is still
sideways day
there. The
for a
news
lot
is
of
there.
stocks. I didn't
What's
see
that?
this was a sideways day for a lot of major stocks,
Oh, yeah.
small stocks. It just wasn't a lot of volatility in the market today. I think the VIX took a holiday. I don't know. But we've had quite a few days of it going sideways and slowly
We were
dribbling.
range bound a lot.
It's really just found its way back to the 200-day SMA. It's just got normal. You know, that's the perfect place to be before it starts to do something else.
Yep. And if it wants to hold in that area, then I like it there. And I like it when it reclaims. Like if it dips right up under, I like to see it reclaim that. And we're heading back up. So, I mean, this chart's beautiful, but the problem is it's really hot in a short amount of time. That's my problem with it. And that's the thing. That's where, you could look back on it and it's like, oh man, I missed out. But I don't know. I've been taught so many lessons about not being patient that I lean more to the side of patience.
Yeah, she's got a nice uptrend. She's riding that very easily.
Beautiful.
And the 50-day.
I mean, if it's going to continue, this is it right here. That's the entry right there. But you might get a little bit more of a dip. So just be aware of that and just manage your risk. I mean, if it's something you're interested in, as long as you understand and manage those risks, then, that's with any stock can play it. Before we go to GTII, I would like to address what Jeff was saying about COSM, which we just talked about. Mm-hmm. He was saying that it had news today about a possible reverse split. He said you can read the news from TD today, I guess TD Ameritrade. Said reverse split to stay on the NASDAQ. So I didn't see that news. He said it's on TD Ameritrade, said it was on TD Ameritrade. And if they're going to do that, that's great. It'll keep them listed as long as they're hitting all the other check boxes. But I still don't like playing reverse splits before they split.
No.
So I wanted to cover that.
Yeah, I don't like to play a reverse split before it splits unless there's something very unique about it. And, maybe a forward split.
Oh, I love forward splits.
Yeah, I'll buy some of a forward split.
I still time my entries on those too. And a lot of times, like when the market, for instance, and this is bigger companies, but like, Tesla, Tesla and Google and Amazon, all of them, they forward split. And usually I would probably take an entry beforehand, grab the extra shares because your one share becomes 20 or whatever it is. But this time I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because our market is a downward market. So I looked at it like, I want these bigger cap companies, but I think I'm going to be able to get a better entry. So I waited and was patient and picked them up whenever they had the dips down into the 80s. Because when they split, it was like 105, which wasn't a bad area. Definitely some playtime there. But if you wanted to go long, you could probably add a little bit there, wait for those dips, add more because you're going long. You have to understand what trade you're wanting to do. So always have that plan beforehand. Okay. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Basically, this was the filing put in news form. I mean, it's basically telling us that they have been told that they're going to leave on November 21st, and the company has appealed. That doesn't mean they're even going to be listened to. So you don't see
anything about reverse split?
No, it doesn't say anything, but we had read in what wasn't it this one? We read in the very last line that, is this the company that has the merger going on if the reverse split happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So, yeah, we saw in the financials, they're canceling the reverse split, but there's no date here about the appeal hearing. It just says that they've appealed it. So we cannot presume that the NASDAQ is even going to listen. Now, they've also been given up to, what was it? December. No, it was, where's that date? They were given a date, up to January 23rd. I don't know why they said that. They were given a date from July 26th. That's when they were warned to get their price up over $1, and they had till January 23rd. But now they're determined to throw them off November 21st. They've appealed it. And that's where it sits. And they said if the appeal goes through, they've got a meeting that they're going to have on December 2nd. So we're going to have to wait unless they actually tell us something, come out and say the appeal has not been granted. We're going to have to wait until the 21st and see what happens. And again, they don't even say that they're going down to the OTC market. That hasn't even been made clear.
Okay, I just wanted to address it. I mean, I just looked really quickly on TD Ameritrade on the ticker, and I didn't see anything, especially recently. I haven't seen anything since November the 4th.
So if nothing else, it's up in the air. That's for darn sure. It's up.
And I'm up in the air about it at this point until we get that.
So trading this is very iffy. A piece of news one way or the other could get the stock to go one way or the other.
Exactly.
And since we have no guarantees, it's just a lot of risk.
There is. All right. So, and I'm sorry, the Hustler was asking about GTII is planning to issue a coin or NFT dividend from my understanding.
Yeah.
I don't have my NFT guy here. We do have an NFT guy, but I ain't got him here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I'll have to ask him about that.
Let me see. GTII. Yep. Right. This is the GTII. This is the one that was also being heavily shorted. I believe we covered that was getting.
Yeah, I think it already had. I think if I remember correctly, it had a great run already.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped. I mean, it got up to 3,000, 5,000, 8,000. I think it actually hit 11. I mean, million. God bless it. Billion shares. It was. All right, hold on here. Trades is what we're talking about. It was doing thousands of trades for over a week, and it just kept getting more and more and more. And that's when we talked about it, because everyone says it was highly shorted. There was a lot of activity, and the company was aware it was being shorted and was trying to give incentives to the shareholders to get them to buy more. So he was trying to push the price up while the shorters were trying to pull it down. And I said anything could happen here, but you can wait a long time for something like that to crack open. Let's see.
I mean, it already had whatever happened on this chart from 43 cents to $8.97. If that wasn't a reverse split and that's just a short, that's a massive move, massive. And it came all the way back down to like $1.82.
I don't believe there was any reverse split.
I don't think so either, but it's just
first thing we'll do is jump over the share structure, and we'll come right down here to dividends and splits. Hit the splits. Nope. Last one was in 2016. So that was all organic bouncing around.
That was huge movement. And for it to come all the way back down to $1.80 something. And now it's trended back up a little bit, but it's still kind of just sideways. Like it went from like the $1.87, $1.82 area back up to like $5.25. And now it's on another dip to like the twos, back up to 3.4. So it's kind of in an area of what's going to happen next. And if there's more catalysts to come, if there's more things coming, I can see it.
It says right here that the CEO has been focused since early spring on finding a way to deliver a digital dividend to our loyal shareholder base.
There it is.
And he's been trying all sorts of things. I remember I read something else that he was doing. I can't remember that. I'm trying to see. Now, the problem is that FINRA doesn't know how to give a digital dividend. Badger, BDGR, they did. I got about 200,000 coins from them. It was a 1-to-1. You got one coin for every share you had. And they figured it out. I don't know how they did it, but I got my coins. They're over at MetaMask right now. And there is another company out there that's public that's come up with a patented way to give digital dividends from a physical stock like this, but that's not out there yet either. I don't see anything about a coin here. This is
I mean, you can try to look up
an uplisting, which is great. It's a dual listing. They're going to go up on the Upstream platform, which is a whole another platform, I guess, for digital products. I don't keep up with that. See if there's any other news here recently.
So you can search and see if you can find NFT in that article as well.
And this was the company, in case you forgot, that had gotten a hold of the 1-800 law firm, which, I mean, with a number like that, it sounds like it's been here for decades already. So I'm sure they're doing something with that. They've got a big base. I remember we were reading about that. So they've got a lot of other things that they're doing right now. Let's see if there's anything in disclosures that they may have given to us. They did have a 10Q come out here just 3 days ago. Let me see if I can put in NFT and see if anything comes up. Let me see. On June 4th, 2021, the company intends to digitalize both pieces of fine art. Oh, right. They've got these 2 pieces of art, one from Andy Warhol, a gelatin silver print of Bianca Jagger, and then they've got the Studio 54 Warhol print. And they're worth some money, and that's how they've backed their digital dividends, which is exactly what Badger did. Badger went out and got some fancy piece of artwork, got the IRS to appraise it, stamp it, and now he had the rights to give coins. So they're just not coins based on hot air. They're actually backed by something, but he hasn't been able to get these into the people's hands yet, obviously. Nothing else is jumping out. I'm going to scroll all the way down to subsequent events just to see if there's anything there. If they have it. Not everybody has subsequent events. Nope, I'm not seeing anything. So there's a lot of information, as you can see here, folks, and it doesn't hurt you just to read it to get familiar with these. The more and more of these you read, the more you're going to know where to look for the information. As you can see here, it's all in chronological order. They tell you every single deal this company has made. Looks like they've made a lot of deals here. And they go all the way back, right to the very beginning when this company started. So if you really want to know the history, it's here. If you want to know what they just did this year, it's here. The charts, GTII. I see she had a big fall, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
That went way back. Way back. However, looking, because I went back a little bit further, now seeing where it dipped to.
So all the way back to February, this was the stimulus month. This is when we got our last stimulus check. Everybody was piling into the market.
To everything.
And it actually got it alive. I mean, it was absolutely dead until that stimulus.
It was absolutely dead. And then boom.
So that definitely sparked it up, and it's been up above the 200 for, well, on the weekly, it's been above it, and that is a giant surge. And let me see, if we were to actually throw a Fibonacci, does that look like it's about at the halfway point there? Oh, man, why do I keep getting the wrong one? They look so much alike. Let's see there. No, we are under that one too. But she's sitting right on her 9-day there. Let's come on into that 20-day. Oh, we got to even go back further. So she was up a while back.
Boy, I think I traded this one. I think I had like 500 million shares of this at one point. Really? And it's bothering me now. It's bothering me so bad. I want to go look.
Somebody said that about a stock that I talked about the other day. Oh, he had a ton of them and he sold them at a loss, and now it's like egads.
Oh, no, I didn't sell at a loss, but I sure wasn't expecting no $8.
Yeah,
woo, Lily could have retired.
I'm not 1,200, 1,300% gains there.
I'm not looking. Well, if it's the one I think it is, I was in at 0.0005.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, I'd have been, yeah, bye. So
that's what time will do for you.
It didn't happen. It never happened. Let's just moving on.
So you can see this is the last 10 days, and she's basically just going sideways with her up and down, stuck in a channel here. She's not really going anywhere, and she needs to break out of that channel for us to know what's going on.
I agree. Let me go back to the last 10 days. So where it's been dipping at, it seems to be holding that 3 area, like it's not giving that up, which is good.
Yeah, it's sticking on the 50.
You're still sideways action. So I mean, I like it, but the thing is, it's in a spot of consolidation. It's holding some of those massive gains it had from before. It's way higher than it was. So, it's holding that area, but could it come down? Absolutely. Could it come up?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in this market, absolutely anything can come down right now.
I think it's going to have to make a decision soon. You're going to see that coming up in the next couple of weeks, probably, because it looks like it's wedging to me. So it's either going to it's up or down motion. You got to have the volume there. You got to have some catalysts coming some more good news coming for that one, or bigger potential, whatever it is that they're doing, and the market sees value in it. Great management, stuff like that. Okay. But if it was just a squeeze play, then you have to know the shorts are shorting it still. Like they still believe in their position. And what they did was start shorting it again when it hit the 897. They all pile back in then. And when it hit back into the 5s, they pile back in then.
If there's a chance bad news is looming, or they see a company's got one foot in the grave, that's the smell. That's what they're
relentless.
Yeah, and they will keep coming after a wounded animal until it falls over or somebody helps it up.
Yep. So you could have a battle there. So just keep an eye on that. Manage your risk if you're in it. I would not like to see it under 270. Like I see it kind of hanging around the 3s and bouncing back from there. But if it wants to go under the 270s, I would be done with that one for a while, and I would wait to let it figure out where it's going to, reverse and come back up if it's going to, because it could come down a lot lower.
Lewis, I believe it is, NG wants to look at FSRD, which I just covered yesterday, and is an interesting play. Still has some potential here. This is a company that just filed bankruptcy on the NASDAQ, and they are being removed from the NASDAQ. Today is their last day. Ouch. We looked at it yesterday. Yesterday, it had a nice run. Let's come down and see that. Yesterday, she popped very early in the day on the announcement that she was being removed. They gave us 2 warning.
There it goes.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said. This is just unreasonable, makes no sense, but it keeps happening over and over again, so you might as well pay attention. These stocks that go bankrupt on the NASDAQ, they have a pop just before they go off the NASDAQ. Then they fall down to the OTC. 1-2 days, pop. They do it again. I do not know why. So I said yesterday, we did look at this yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a timeline in there so we can remember this the next time we're here. And I said there could be a chance it could run today. But I was more waiting for the OTC. That's going to be tomorrow. But I also said the first day, I expect it to dust itself up and get up off the floor after it got dropped there. But the next day, well, that's going to be Monday. I would look at it on Monday. Now, I don't know a whole lot about what the company's got going on. We did look at it yesterday. There's more information in the video, but that's what's going on with this company. So she is in bankruptcy. She's going to have a Q on her tomorrow, FSRDQ. And the bonus here is that she's bringing along her warrant. Her warrant's coming down to the OTC as well. And that'll be the same ticker with a WQ at the end. Yeah. And the reason I bring that up is if there's any push on the price, if there's any catalyst, if she starts to run, look at the warrant. Many times the warrants move farther and faster on less volume on the same day that the stock's moving. And you can get in cheaper and make more. Nothing wrong with that.
Do you think, John, and this is what I think, and maybe it's a 70% of the time, not sure, but that's why I'm asking you. Do you think once it gets down to the OTC, we're going to see some further down movement? I know we had a pop here. It's giving some of it back. I think we could. Like it could come down a little bit more.
Obviously, anything is possible.
Yeah. I was just wondering, what do you notice when this happens? Because we've seen several of them do it.
Well, I think it's always a smart approach to use Amy's approach. We're not speculators. We're traders. We're trying to take money.
Yeah.
Not trying to create it. We're not planting seeds of hope. You want to get confirmation that these things are moving. And I expect this to bounce just because, look, I don't know if it's boredom. I don't know what the play is here, but these bankruptcies are just starting. That they're going to be a long run. We don't know if it's going to be good news at the end. And still, they get these massive runs that are very short, very hard, and then come crashing back down.
Yeah.
Well, those are perfect day trade opportunities. That's all I say. Yeah. So I would just look for the volume. If it starts to move up, breaking technicals, things are in overbought, what the heck? Jump in. That's all I'm saying. It could
jump in knowing what it is, though.
Right. It could fall. It could get lower. I'm not saying jump in as soon as the next day comes. We're playing smart. Absolutely.
Play smart. Give it some room. Let's have some patience with it. Let's see what it's going to do. And it may need to adjust a few days on the OTC, you guys.
It wouldn't hurt also to learn a little. Go check out some of these other bankruptcies and see when they announced. Look at the charts. Look at the charts just before they left the NASDAQ and what happened when they came on the OTC. Remember,
and that's what I was saying. I've noticed them go,
you'll have to look at two different tickers. So don't think, well, there's nothing there. Just put a Q on the end of it, and then you can compare. And if you see a pattern, use that to your play. Not everything happens all the time, but you
can give you a couple. Voyager is one of them you can look at, and then add the Q.
Voyager, Hertz.
Hertz did it. I think Revlon wasn't. Did Revlon actually hit OTC though?
I think they did. Actually, there's quite a lot of them, and you can always see a bankruptcy. If you do a scan, just look at the back end, look for a Q. Now, some tickers have a Q as part of theirs, but if it's an extra letter, it means they're in bankruptcy. And it could have just been put on yesterday. But I normally find these not by going through a scan, but by going through 8Ks. As boring as they are, that's where it gets announced.
Oh, that's where all the goods are.
Huh?
That's where all the goods are right there, John. That's how you get ahead and know these things before the moves are happening.
So if you don't have time to go through it all, like I said, come on over to Discord. I'm posting this stuff there. A lot of these reverse splits, up listings, down listings, they're not in press releases. It's information I'm extracting from 8Ks, S1s, and I'm throwing over there on Discord so that everybody can make use of it to your own avail. We're not telling you price points, anything like that. We're showing you catalysts. We're showing you opportunities. Now, you want to discuss opportunities on when to get in? That's what we're there for. But at least you'll know what's going on and can have a question to talk to us about.
And John keeps up with, he doesn't just post the news. John reads this news, and I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he has what's that memory called?
Photographic?
Yes. He's got one of those, you guys. Don't let him fool you.
Too.
Don't let him fool you. He knows.
Photographic memory with senility every now and then. It makes it interesting.
What makes it fun? You have a fun photographic memory. There you go.
All right. What do we got here, Travis? Can you take a look at Can you read that for me? It's so tiny on my screen.
Can you take a look at GBXI? Pretty inactive the past year. New company took over the ticker. Just went from limited to current pink or pink current, and volume starting to trickle in. Thanks. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
All right. All right. GBXI, GBX International finished the day pretty even, actually. Everything looks good here. Shell Risk. So they're in some sort of business, but they're not making any money. Not a good thing. Let's see here. This isn't exactly where I wanted to go, but since I'm here, let's just see. Nope, they haven't had any splits, and they've got a very small float. Whoa, 7.6 million in the float.
Been pretty flat, too. I see what they're saying about the volume, and it kind of ticking up a little bit.
Customer acquisition company focused on assisting local merchants and small businesses to expand their customer base. I wonder if that's what they're still doing. News. God, that's from December of last year. So we've got no news here. The only thing we're going to get are disclosures. God, no disclosures. You're right. It's been quiet for a while. Attorney letter. So they're all caught up here, and they've been caught up.
And if we're getting pink current, that's good. And you said right now they're shell risk. Okay, they are pink
over here at Twitter. See if we can get
a because I really like this one. I like where this one's. Let's see if we can get something to substantiate this. And this is actually probably at a good price, a good spot right here.
All right, looks like they went pink current October 26th. I also post this information every single day. Tier changes, you can get that on the OTC market. GSFI, that's June 15th. There is nothing here. I'm going to go to latest.
GBXI.
Congrats to all the team members. November 14th. No, they've got nothing going on over here. So a deeper dive would have to be done here. What did he say that there was?
That they had it's a new company that took over the ticker, so that might take away our shell risk right there. They just went from limited to pink current, and the volume's starting to trickle in. And that's the thing. That's what I'm seeing on the chart is that since our low was October the 4th. So right
Here,
before.
You got your chart up? Share your chart.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'll bring it up.
I'm going to go dive into that form there and see if I can find the company's name.
Yeah, let's do that. That'll be a good idea. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to pull that up for you guys. All right, so here we go. Can you see the chart?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on October the 4th, we had a low with the wicks. When they wick like this, that means you have a lot of buyers stepping in. You see the volume down here? That tells you people stepped in right here. They liked it at this price. Mm-hmm. So they stepped in here, and we haven't seen a low like that since. And the thing is we have a trickle, like the person was saying. It's a small uptick, for 0.0241 to 0.076 right now. So it hasn't moved a lot. That's still a pretty good move, but it hasn't moved a lot. And it seems to be under the radar right now. These are the type of stocks I like to find when I'm playing the OTC. I love seeing this. So a little bit of volume coming in, nothing too noticeable. This is being very, very sneaky. Now, right here with these wicks, when it came up this high, these are your sellers. They're selling it down. But this company, let's go back and look 3 years. It's just nothing. Just so flat and nothing going on, you guys. Nothing. I don't know what this was. If this was a reverse split, this was a run. I don't know what this was. And that's back in when? 21. September 21. Everything was going off then, so I can't tell you what that was. But so the last 20 days, I'm going to pull up the last 90 days. Let's go to a 90-day. We're going to look at the 1 hour on a 90-day. And see, you can see how it's coming down, no problem. And then all of a sudden, boop, no, we're heading back up. But you see the volume's a little bit, it's increased. This is nothing substantial. This is nothing life-changing or anything. This is something to notice, though. So we need to figure out what's happening, what's going on, what company's coming in. Something's changing here. And I still would like to see a dip, but it's very much in the trend, very much in this little uptrend, which is nice to see. So, I don't want to look at the 5-day. That is too close. Sorry. Back to the 20-day. I would like to. This one, I think you could take a chance on if we could find out what's going on with it. Take a chance on this one and be patient. And I think you could see a lot more to come with this one. And you could be getting in early. Don't know yet. We got to figure out what it is. So 0.071, 0.07 is where I'd want to see a dip to for a possible entry on this one, and would definitely want to see it hold above 0.06. I'll give it 0.063. If it can do that, then
I don't see any.
Did you find anything, John?
I don't see anything about any mergers or anything like that. However, reading the news, I do see that their last piece of news that they put out, Christmas basically of last year, they had just changed their name to GBX International because they were changing their business model. They were going to something else. But since then, we don't have any more information, and their most recent quarterly report didn't say anything about that. I did verify the share structure. It is 7.5 million. That's a real good float, especially
I love
if you
the
get
float.
some heat.
I love the float. And that's something else that's going to make me dig into this one.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information. We're going to have to dive around maybe on Google, Twitter, see if they have an account over there, because they don't have a lot going on here. And being a shell risk, we would like to see that disappear. And if something's happening now that's going to start bringing in revenue, getting rid of that will be a big help.
If what Travis said that another company is actually taking over, that shell risk may be falling off soon. So these are all factors. So this one, GBXI, I'm going to be taking back to my table, back over the weekend when I'm doing my own research. I will be researching this one because that's what I want to see. I don't want to get into it after it's already ran for 2 months. I'm not interested at that level. I think
it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get into a stock before it's run unless you know something. And if you know it, so does everybody else. So it's tough to get in early. So what Lily's doing is the best thing you can do, catching a hint from the volume. You see that on Twitter. People watch volume climbing. They'll say a big block order just came in. They're watching the purchases. Somebody just bought 1 million shares. Why? There's nothing going on. Not that you and I know.
Not that you know
Somebody
of.
knows.
But even a little bit of grocery money there with some patience could pay off pretty big. So at the level that it's at, the price that it's at, I like it. I want to see what else is going on with it. Or is this just a normal little uptick because the market seems to be doing a little bit better right now? It could be nothing, but we'll see. Thanks for bringing it up.
All right, we've got some time here. Let's get into Eyeless. Look at Eyeless often. I don't know if there's anything new happened. She hasn't been. I pretty much watch the stocks that are running, the ones that are getting a lot of trades. Maybe they're not running, but there's a lot of people looking at it. I want to know. Even a lot of people pushing a stock down is important. You want to know why so many people are focused on that company. So whenever I see a stock doing hundreds or thousands of trades in a day, that's hundreds or thousands of people trading a stock. When a lot of these stocks only get 3 or 4 trades a day. That's it.
Yeah.
So I look for those crowds. Eyeless hasn't been in the crowd factor here recently.
They haven't. So just things are kind of dying down a little bit, but it's not, doesn't mean it's bad.
No, this is a legitimate company doing great business around the world, fighting fires, selling all this different products, whether it be a big fire truck, a little electric truck that can go in the woods, nozzles, metaverse training, outfitting hotels with sprinkler systems. I mean, they're covering it all, and they're growing and growing. Fire is everywhere. Every single country has it, so they're not going to be shut out anywhere. And the company just keeps buying new businesses and doing more. So I've always liked this company. I believe it was a Karen Courier play from the start. Let's see here. They just came out with their third quarterly results. I'm sure they're making good money. Let's see. Third quarter net profit and assets increased 550%, 203%, and 187% respectively. Folks, that's a trifecta. This is what it's all about. We're looking for companies making money. That's how you know they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Forget the promises, forget the hopes. If you see a company making money steadily, that's going to be a steady growth stock. And fire is not going to go out of fashion, I'm sorry to say. That's always going to be with us. So this is probably going to be a very long-standing business unless something catastrophic happened to them, like it burned down or something. Bad joke. Bad joke.
With looking at it, I mean, John, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again.
Yeah, go for it, hon.
I mean, you can keep talking about the other stuff too, because I do have a lot going on, you guys. It's just taking a breather right now. And this is when we are, hold on. Let me pull that back up.
Yeah, we can't see your chart. Huh?
Yeah. I'm doing it. When we are reviewing charts and tickers or companies that have already been running, I'm going to share there we go.
I know they need a faster button.
I know. So when we're watching stuff that's already been running, this is just a 3-year on Eyeless. You can see how much it has moved. And this is where we kind of look at it like, now is it our opportunity? No, in my opinion, to go long. You don't want to buy here. Look how much more it had to give, so you just be patient. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. This was the bottom before that move. These are the fibs that it should revisit, and it's kind of up under it. The reason why I like it here, let's get closer. This is our 6-month. So it's like I said, it's hanging right up under it. 0.06 was it? Matter of fact, I think I remember. When was that? When did that happen? 0.06 happened in August. I want to say that's around the area I was looking for 0.06 too, and I missed it. I didn't even realize it happened. But okay, that's all right. There's always other opportunities. So I'm going to take you to the 20-day. The reason why I like it right now is it's hanging right up. It's still in a small little uptrend from the 0.071 we just visited. And this is the bottom of those wicks of those candles. I just drew it over. It's still kind of holding that right here. But the thing is our 200 SMA is right here up under it. And so if we're going to hold right there, this is, in my opinion, a perfect place to enter if you were not already in Eyeless. And it's something you want to try to take long. So this is a nice spot.
If you're going to go long, folks, that means don't buy everything at once.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
I like this here, and I want to see it hold that.
For a part of it, if it does dip, if you're in long, God only knows what's going to happen between now and your long. And of course, it's going to dip sometime for some reason, whether it be the company or the world. And you're going to be able to take advantage of it because you only bought some. And you'll say, oh, I got a better price. Instead of feeling all angry that it's dipped, you see it as an opportunity because you're in it long anyway. So you want a better price sometime. That'd be great.
Exactly.
As long as it goes back to climbing.
So yeah, you have a plan for going long. The 0.0827 is the more recent low that it had, and kind of hits with this line that I was drawing from the bottom of those wicks. I would like to see it hold above that, or come back and retest that area and then hold above that. If so, then I wouldn't mind buying in right there. But that's the thing is when you're finding companies or good companies have potential, if you're wanting to play them, these are the times to do it when they're not that hyped up right now.
Now, this company has a catalyst everybody's waiting for. It was October 20th. Yes. They filed their 1012G, which means they're working to get a stock onto the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. We believe it to be the NASDAQ. They're doing that spin out. And once they do that spin out, you're going to get free shares for any ratio of shares you own in this company. That's the great part about it. That's what everybody's waiting for. They haven't given us any new news, but it's in the works. And we know ILIS does what they're going to say. I really like this company.
So far, and that's why I like them.
Yeah, they're hard at what it is they do, and they're not half-stepping. And when they get into gear, man, a lot of things happen at once. So just because it's quiet, I wouldn't think they're not doing anything, not by any means.
I don't think that either. I just, when it's quiet like this, you're consolidating, you're kind of holding in these levels, you're revisiting those 200 levels. I think it's a better spot than buying a stock when it's screaming, unless you're in and out like a scalp play. You don't want to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and that's,
look at it, consider it.
I point out a lot of those in the morning. This one's up 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not telling you to get in. I'm telling you it's taking a big bounce. It'll probably take a big dip. And that's when you look for your entry for the next bounce. You're looking for stocks that people are looking at. And that huge bounce told you there was a crowd around it at some point in the day. They could come back. They could actually come back when the price gets appealing again. And that's what we're looking for. You don't have to get in on the first one and think you're missing it. Look, nothing runs forever. And in this market, most things are coming back down. Most. There are some. We've seen a few today that have been climbing pretty steady for a while. Those are great stocks. I mean, if you're itching to invest, put your money there and just let it sit while you day trade. These stocks are growing slowly, and slowly is good. There's no volatility involved with that.
Perfect. And Jeff was saying, thanks to me, Lily, for the info on DBGI. Not financial advice. It never is. This is only grocery money, and this is only for fun. For last week, Jeff got out at 521 and is now at 396. Saved a good 700. Good for you. And I don't know if anybody remembers, they were here with us last week. Jeff was in a tight spot. He was in a much higher price and just needing some help there. And I was not saying to buy or sell. But what I was doing is just looking at it for him. We just revisited the chart and said, hey, it went down to 3 something. And it kind of bounced there. I was like, I'm thinking you can get a little bit more, but make a plan to take your profits or take your loss, but a lower loss. So make a plan right now, because Jeff realized that he was in a bad situation and did not like how it felt.
Yeah, you can only minimize the damage.
That's right. Minimize the damage, cut it, let it go. You can revisit it later on. I mean, who knows? There could still be potential there, because DBGI, they did do some dilution, unfortunately. So it kind of messed up. Yeah, they already had a reverse split and then diluted. So it kind of messed up some stuff. So that might have messed it up, but keep an eye on it. It still has potential. There's no reason to sit there and hope and hold money and please come back. No, we don't do that. So do we make mistakes? Yes, every one of us do. But making a plan for that, getting out of those trades and taking that money and making it profitable somewhere else. So good job, Jeff. Appreciate that. And thanks for letting me know. And like another one, RMed, that's another one, reverse split. I don't think it's diluted. I think it went down to 2 something. And I didn't like it if it let go of $6. So I wasn't messing with it. And I could tell it was going down. Now I think it might be at a zone where it's starting to pick back up. And it's only $1 million float. problem is RMed's never been really good about doing news or anything of any substantial use or gain to anybody. So their management's kind of, so it may not ever work out there. They're just not one of those type of companies. And it's not, if it gets hyped up, I'm in. But if not, meh. Did we have anything else, John? I think we covered everybody today.
All right, good. I hate to leave anybody hanging, and I didn't even have to go talking about any of the stocks I was going to talk about. I do want to drop one thing here. We talked about LATAM a lot, and there's been a lot of developments with LATAM, and it's only fair that you know everything. There's some really bad news out there right now. The fact of the matter is there is a big, huge price discrepancy between the U.S. ADRs, which is what we're invested in, and the stock in Chile. The stock in Chile is at 5.6 pesos. When you convert that to American money, that is less than a penny. The problem is, folks, that debt got all piled into preferred shares. There are 590 billion shares in the outstanding share count. Outstanding. Those are shares on the market, one way or the other. And it's diluted it. So there's a price discrepancy. We are at 395 billion market cap, making us the 11th largest company in the S&P 500, bigger than Walmart, bigger than all those companies, but we're not. And in Chile, it's only worth $4 billion. So they're waiting for the price to actually get even. And I don't know how that happens, except we quit bidding it up and let it fall, or Chile comes back up. But in either case right now, it doesn't change the fundamentals of the company. The company is in great shape. The stock is a mess, but it's going to catch up and balance out sooner or later. So if you're in LATAM right now, I actually sold. I got out. I took my gains. I was up. I could have been up a lot higher, but I thought it was going to keep going. This stuff just comes out when it comes out. But I still like LATAM. I love LATAM. I think it's actually going to come down more because the price discrepancy is still pretty big. So I'm going to wait for it to come down, and then I'm going to get back in at a better price. So there you go, folks. Hope that didn't hurt. It's still not a bad price. I still think it's in the 40s right now, 48, something like that. So there you go, folks. Just the last thing on my mind.
Yeah. And we had a couple come in, John. I am going to say hi to them real quick. PSHG, they said it just did a reverse split, and they wanted thoughts on it. The thoughts on it, it looks like it happened at least 3 days ago. I can't tell for sure. I wasn't following this one. And usually it takes about 3 days for that to level out. And we can revisit it next week. If you want to come back and join us next week, I'll write it down and look at it and try to keep an eye on it this week. But when reverse splits, if it's already happened, there's room to play there. You can see some volume on it right now. So just watch it every day. Maybe watch a dip for it. See if you can get a trade on it. But I don't know the news or what's happening with that one, so I can't really say.
PSHG did a
PSHG.
What?
And Board wants to know, how does it grow a beard like that? Boom.
First off, PSHG, they had a reverse split on the 15th of 1 and 15.
Okay.
So they brought, and I don't know what their share count is right now. I that's what's always interesting. I think that's going to be right. The outstanding shares is at 4 million. 4 million outstanding. So it's going to be a super low float right now. So that's about all I know as well.
And if that's the case, it's going to move quickly up or down.
How do you grow a beard like this?
That's what they're asking.
You don't shave. All just 4 years of avoiding scissors and razors. That's it. I will tell you, I do use a curling iron to keep it from looking all frazzled on the ends. I do kind of give it that Santa look. You can see it. It gets pretty wild if I don't. So you're welcome. And thank you.
That's hilarious. Anyway, y'all are so welcome. We will definitely cover AABB next week. I did see some stuff come out on that one earlier. I put that in our Discord in the chats. And I used to follow AABB really heavily.
Asia Broadband.
Yeah. And I haven't lately. So I don't know exactly what's going on currently. But I liked them way back then. I probably still like them now. So it's just the market's been rough. But we will cover that one. I will write it down right now. please come back. And if you can't be here, then just come back and watch the video because I will cover AABP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, folks, if we're not here, I put up the video link earlier in the day on Thursday. I guess I could put it up on Wednesday. But if you have some questions and you know you're not going to be here or maybe not, you can write your questions early. You don't have to wait for us to be here. The questions will be sitting there when we show up, and we'll know exactly what you want to talk about. And then you can watch the recording later. We'll gladly cover it.
Exactly. And Larry said you should do a ZZ Top edition, John. Larry says you should get into ZZ Top. Got this.
Bring that guitar around.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you for being here. We will see you next Thursday. And you can get this chat early and start putting those tickers in there. We'll see them before we come on. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Come see us in Discord.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Home Alone.